Good evening, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast that has a burgeoning rivalry on hand between the York Dukes and the St. Ignatius Wolfpack. I want to welcome you all into the game of the week alongside Wes Anderson down at ice level. We've got Mike Doherty back with the J&M Media crew. I am Max Anderson here with all the live game action. We're going to send it right down to ice level where Wes Anderson standing by with St. Ignatius head coach Spencer Montgomery. Wes.
Thanks, guys. Coach Max Myers, your leading point scorer, has been held off the score sheet the last two games of league play. What do you expect out of him tonight?
Yeah, he's ready to break through. We need more from him. We need him finding the back of the net. You know, he's a senior. He's leadership. He's been 3 years varsity. So, you know, dry spells happen, but, you know, I feel like the mojo's going to change. Can't hold him back too long. Yeah,
and a little bit of a weird one last night with New Trier. That game ended in the third period due to some glass on the ice. How do you guys just look to reset here and get a W tonight?
Yeah, you know what? We've gone 5 periods. I was telling you a little bit earlier, 5 periods without a goal. So we're going to be throwing everything and everybody at the net. Once we get one in, hopefully the dam breaks and we're back to what we do best.
There we go, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Wes. And hearing Spencer Montgomery talk about scoring issues with St. Ignatius, not what we've been used to, Mike. I know you've been gone a couple of years.
Yes,
but
I have.
I know you've kept up with the SHL network while you've been down in Austin. Good to have you back. But the scoring for this team usually always finds its way eventually.
Yeah, first of all, I'm excited to be back, Max. Thank you for having me back. Excited to be back here with Wes, Jimmy the Wiz, got the whole squad back here together. But yeah, I mean, these are two premier programs in the state of Illinois. They have high expectations. The goal is simple: win an SHL championship and win a state championship. So especially with St. Ignatius, I am not worried about that at all. They're a ground and pound team. They like to keep pucks below the dots, work the cycle, work an offensive zone forecheck. Those goals will come, obviously, throughout the season, as Coach Spencer mentioned. You know, the dry spells will come, but I expect that to turn around very soon for this team.
Meanwhile, you look at the other side, and the York Dukes, of course, Evan Polakidis in his first season after leaving Glenbrook North, come to this York team. We had them on the game of the week just about 10 days ago against New Trier. They got that shootout win. They come into this having won 3 straight, one of the hottest teams in the state right now.
Yeah, and coming into a season with very high expectations, I think, obviously, with the hiring of Evan Polakidis and you know, a smattering of players returning. This is going to be a team that with very high expectations, as I mentioned before, and they've done a very good job to manage those expectations at first. And I expect that trend and that idea to continue as the season goes on. So
we're closing in on puck drop here on the game of the week, and just a few moments as both teams huddle around their respective goals, Mike. Just like riding a bike, right? After a couple of years off on the net, coming right back in.
Might be a few stumbles as we get started here, but I'm excited to be back here, man. It's nothing like high school hockey, especially in the state of Illinois. 2 teams I know very well, so I'm excited to be here.
And now we're ready to get the pregame festivities going, where we'll turn it over to public address announcer Sam Schwartz.
Good evening, fans and friends, and welcome to Fifth Third Arena for tonight's Scholastic Hockey League Game of the Week. Featuring the visitors, York Dukes versus your St. Ignatius Wolfpack. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to meet today's starting lineups. First for the visitor, York Dukes. Coached by Evan Polakidis, here's his starting lineup. At left defense, junior number 44, Brody O'Leary. At right defense, senior number 12, Anthony Pacente. At left wing, senior number 74, Mitch Fafinski. At right wing, alternate captain, senior number 65, Jimmy Spano. At center, the captain, senior number 30, Ethan Melwer. And defending the Dukes goal, freshman number 32, Levi Brown. And now, make some noise for the starting lineup of your St. Ignatius Wolfpack. They are coached by Spencer Montgomery. Here is his starting lineup. At left defense, alternate captain, senior number 29, Sam Lee. His partner at right defense, junior number 19, 16, Gray Villardi. And left wing alternate captain, senior number 19, Charlie Jeremy. And right wing, the captain, senior number 36, Grayson Rizzuti. you are willing and able, and remove headwear if wearing, please welcome to perform tonight's national anthem, Mary Grace Jenkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pre-game festivities are wrapped up, and Mike, we're 51 minutes, maybe a little bit more away, and a crucial few points on the line here in the SHL.
Always hard points to come by in the SHL, and especially when you're playing, these two teams are fairly close in standing, so obviously these 2 points are even more important. You got to try and keep that the playoff picture in mind throughout the season. You want to try and get those good matchups, home ice advantage, all that good stuff. That happens in November, not February, so this is a very important game for both these teams.
You look at the run that York's been on over the last 3 games, it's no coincidence. The freshman Levi Brown has been a net for all 3, including wins over New Trier, St. Viator, and GBS. Arguably the 3 top teams in the state right now. Talk about a freshman goalie coming in and making his mark.
It's very difficult. I mean, we have our goaltending expert, Wes Anderson, down by the benches. He'd know more than me, but you're coming in and you're seeing shots from guys now 4 years older than you right away, and it's a big difference than playing AA or AAA wherever he was playing before. And obviously he's done a terrific job keeping this team, in the hunt for that SHL title, and obviously taking down a phenomenal team in New Trier Green last week. I assume the confidence is very high in him, and he expects another win here tonight.
I want to give you a heads up that we are working to get the clock on the stream. We walked into a myriad of IT issues here at Fifth Third Arena, including some massive internet issues, but we got the internet piece solved at least, and I got Jimmy the Wiz working hard on fixing the clock issue as well. One issue at a time. We got one engineer, only one Jimmy the Wiz. I know sometimes it seems like there's 5 of them, but there's just one. So in the meantime, we will keep you updated on the clock as much as we can throughout the broadcast. And fortunately here at Fifth Third, you should see a fair amount of it just from the camera panning throughout the game. Well, we're underway here on Sunday night. First game of the week action for St. Ignatius, live from Fifth Third Ice Arena. Of course, the practice home of the Chicago Blackhawks. Skating on the very same ice that those pros do. Must be nice for this St. Ignatius group and for York. One thing, Mike, I always notice about this place is the lighting and the air circulation better than anywhere else we broadcast.
Yes, definitely better.
And makes for a little bit less sleepy of a broadcaster by the end of it as Jimmy Spano tries to flick it into the offensive zone, but it goes up into the netting. We'll get our first whistle of the game 31 seconds in.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start, but these teams are going to try and figure each other out right off the bat. But like I said, I think for St. Ignatius, Coach Spencer mentioning the lack of goal scoring, I think it's important for them early in this game to be getting pucks in deep, make their D turn, try to establish a forecheck right away. Elongated offensive zone time is going to lead to more chances.
And I can't believe I ever doubted Jimmy the Wiz. Look at that, 31 seconds in, and he's got our clock issues solved.
You never doubted him. You never doubted him. You knew.
I know you didn't. Edmund Burke the fourth with the puck. Taking it out of the zone, carrying it from his own defensive end. Through the neutral zone is Burke. Sandwiched off the puck as Fifinski and Spano came together to win it for the Dukes. Again, chipping out from their own zone is Chris Pretzi up into the netting. It's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, let's see. It looks like they're going to keep the same guys out here. Offensive zone draws are always crucial. We'll see if they try and set up any kind of play or anything. Obviously, still early in this game, but shots in net are very important as well, obviously. So the more shots they can get on Brown, the better.
Just 50 seconds gone. Pretzi takes it for the Dukes, spins it around the boards looking for Camposano. Quickly pinned against the wall by Alex Cook. Cook trying to keep it alive. It was down the boards from Dylan Hahn, but gets knocked back out into the neutral zone. Hahn with the puck. He'll chip it across and get it in deep, sending in Max Meyer on the forecheck. Physical play already in the first 75 seconds. Trying to set a tone as Jack Passion backhands, misses his target, falls to Nathan Lazat. Lazat chases the dump in on the forecheck. Griffin Hayes. Rink wide pass just out of the reach of Michael Barton. Lazat up the wall. Finds Sullivan Helfrich. Helfrich's shot easily sticked aside by Levi Brown. Not able to keep it in at the point. And James Woods back to take it for Ignatius. Trickles out to the neutral zone. Now the Dukes hitting themselves, nearly turning the puck over in a problem spot. Liam Brown cuts into the slot. Can't get a shot off. It's a good back check by Christopher Kelly. Kelly now keeping it alive. Circling behind the goal, centering in the slot. The shot from Barton, it was blocked in front. I believe it was the backside of James Woods that got in the way. Solid shift from the Dukes. Couple of chances towards net, never got one through, but good action in the offensive end from York. Anthony Pacente back to play it for the Dukes. Quick pass out to Liam Brown, can't handle it in the neutral zone. 4 or 5 bodies coming together trying to sort through it. Eventually it's Sean Biden that comes up with it. On comes Augustus Bergman, his shot steered wide. Pops off the half wall. Meyer tried to get a quick shot off, not able to control it. Instead falls to Velarde. His shot blocked in front. A lot of block shots here early for both sides. 2 shots on goal for the home side, Ignatius. None yet for the Dukes as the third one trickles in on Brown and squeezes it west. We saw Levi Brown in the game of the week against New Trier, and the one thing we talked about repeatedly in that game was his ability to control rebounds better. First chance at it, we saw a better job of it so far.
Yeah, and Mike, you alluded to it a little bit. He is a freshman. He's got some antsy nerves. One of the big things that you learn as you mature as a goalie is that rebound control, Max, something that you also highlighted there. So it'll be interesting to see how, as he settles into this game, how well he's able to keep those rebounds close to him and prevent those second chance opportunities.
We've got our goaltending expert on the net, Wes Anderson, breaking it down. Fortunate bounce. Here comes Fafinski. Fafinski's shot just wide of the cage. Ethan Maurer over in the corner. Maurer can't get it past one Wolfpack and taken out by Brady Vasek. Vasek, a player that came up from Varsity 2 last year, featured heavily with Ignatius on this Varsity 1 squad. Now another year under his belt, and talking to Spencer Montgomery has loved the development of Vasek. Vasek already with 11 points, tied for the team lead with Max Meyer. Sam Reef, another veteran of this Ignatius side that returns 9 skaters from last year's quarterfinal team. Now wrap around the chest from Gray Velarde, but no call, will play on. Puck falls at Camposano, flicks it into the offensive end, but quickly taken away by Reef. Reef carries, drops for Charlie Jeremy. That's as far as he could get it, taken out by Mason Shorter. Shorter crosses the blue line, has Passion coming up the slot. Looking for Passion, it was just a little bit too far out in front. Releases Charlie Jeremy, but active stick from Pretzi disrupts that rush for the Wolfpack. Neither side with much in terms of the way of quality chances so far. 4 shots on goal for Ignatius. York yet to find the pads of Nick Nocera in net for St. Ignatius. Here comes Jack Passion. I'm guaranteed to do that once per game with the Passion brothers. When you've been doing it this long, there's quite a few brothers. A trip, no call, says the referee. Some anxious arms went up in the crowd, but no call. Now turned over, Barton can't get a shot off. It's a good stick check from Burke. Dylan Hahn, handling it at his own blue line and sent back deep. Now Burke absorbs pressure from Liam Brown. Now Burke trying to find Dylan Hahn at the near blue line. Trickles to him. He gets a wrist shot off, but a clean glove snap from Levi Brown.
Yeah, Max, you mentioned now 5 shots on net for Ignatius. I like the start that they've had. Obviously, it's a little bit slow. Nothing too dangerous of chance, but like I mentioned, they're establishing that forecheck. They're getting some pressure on. And as for York, they had that one good chance by Mike Barton in front of the net, but a little bit better chance for them would help.
Just under 11 minutes left in this first period. We're scoreless on the game of the week. Shot from a sharp angle, blockered away. Sullivan Helfrich on the shot. Now a commotion in front of Brown, who drops his glove on it. A couple of the Duke's defensemen take onus on a little bit of the liberties taken on their freshman netminder.
Really nice save by Levi Brown. Wes, I don't know if you had a good look at that, but it looked like he was fighting through some traffic to find that puck.
Yeah,
there.
and he's moving really well laterally tonight as well. And like you said, Mike, looking through screens. He's not the biggest goalie there,
right.
particularly the freshman, but able to, once again, swallow up those rebounds and prevent those second chance opportunities. And like you said, this Wolfpack team hasn't scored a goal in over 5 periods, so pucks on net is the MO here in the first period.
Draw won by Ignatius. Now a shot off a fortunate bounce, just wide off the stick of Kelly. Along the near half wall, trying to get off it is the Wolfpack. Now James Erdis comes to Kelly. Can't handle it. Back out to neutral ice. Crafty play by Lizotte to get the puck right back in. Right pad save, rebound given, but out of a shooting range. Off the half wall once more is Erdis. Shot just wide. Pretzi almost loses the puck as he leaves the zone. Somehow, Chris Pretzi ends up with it in the offensive zone. Gets it all the way deep below the goal. Looking for a centering pass from Spano. Never got rid of it. Pretzi somehow back with the puck. Didn't get a shot off, but Pretzi working hard, 200 feet. Lizotte enters, looking for his next move. Has Erdis up the wall. Instead, it's taken away by Ethan Maurer. No backhanded shot, nothing on it. And gloved by Brown. And Wes, something I've heard you talk about over the years and something I just saw Levi Brown do is rebounds are an inevitable part of the game. But as you see the replay there, if you can kick it out of dangerous areas, I'll let you kind of expand upon it more. But you talk a lot about rebounds aren't inherently a bad thing. It's how you control them and what you do with them.
Yeah, exactly, Max. Like on that last opportunity, you see how he kicked it far out to the right. He could tell that there's pressure coming down that center lane, and that's really the only opportunity or place he could put that puck. And as you mentioned, it's just out of harm's way and allows his defense to reset before that next shot comes through.
9 shots on goal so far for Ignatius. York yet to put one in on Nick Nocera. Meyer wraps it around the boards. Finds the stick of Biden. Now back to Pirati. Sean O'Leary misses his intended target. Bad pass off the wall. It's going to allow Griffin Hayes to take the puck back. Bouncing between calling soccer and hockey. Inevitably going to call the puck a ball, and I'm sure on a soccer broadcast I've called the ball a puck once or twice. Rink wide pass, Velarde through the neutral zone. Jack Passion takes it away for the Dukes. Taken right back by Reef. Reef chipping it in. Played by Brown. Spun around the boards. Kept in by Velarde at the point. Kick saving a beauty from Keaton Nix. New York not able to break out of their zone with much control or possession at all so far. Puck misses everybody, but icing waved. On comes Burke. Burke with space. Feeds Rizzuti. Rizzuti takes a shot. Awkward deflection, and Brown able to keep it out. Late coming is Brady Vasic to keep it alive for Ignatius. Battle at the blue line, just kept in by James Woods. Trying to get it back to Woods. The stick check slowed the puck down. Now Mason Shorter trying to chip it out and does. Bit of a loose change from York. Nearly too many men on the ice, but they survive it. Back to the point. Big wind-up slap shot from Max Meyer. Don't think it ever got through. Rattled around, hit a couple of bodies. Curling, shooting is Jeremy wide of the cage. Centering from Vasic, looking for Meyer. Just trickled through his stick. Now Mason Shorter chipping out. Looking for Francesco Sanfilippo. This misses everybody. And icing waved on our far side linesman.
No icing in this game, apparently, Max.
Yeah, it was a bit of a liberal wave on the icing. I agree, Mike. I thought we should have seen one there. Reed Pienta skates wide on the backhand chance. Max Meyer was wide of the cage. Meyer on the follow-up chance. Another blocker save from Brown. Meyer, high slot. Shot blocked down in front by Brown. Kept in by Cook. Chips it towards Liam Brown. Shorter wraps it around the boards, just trying to make sure it gets out, and does, as the Dukes are looking to change.
Yeah, really nice flare from St. Ignatius. Let's see if they can keep the pressure on.
Meyer turns and gets it deep once more. Pienta giving chase, but immediately cleared. That finally reaches the distance for icing.
Yeah, it's all St. Ignatius right now. And, Max, you mentioned the breakouts for York. I think that's something St. Ignatius is doing a very good job of clogging the middle of the ice and not allowing them to come out with speed. We saw a nice rush by Pretzi, the number 6 on York, with the rush all the way into the zone. But as far as clean passing and breakouts, there hasn't been any room for it. Ignatius is all over them. They're on their toes, doing a great job breaking up those plays. Something that York's D need to pay attention to, move that puck quicker.
During that stoppage of play, you got to look at our sponsors here for the 2025 season on the SHL network. Couple of new ones, couple of returners, but always looking for more. If you're a local business, we'll share. We get thousands of viewers on these games, captive audience everywhere between the West Loop all the way up to the northern suburbs, and really inexpensive sponsorship options. So please, if you are inclined and have a reason, we'd love to have you on as a sponsor with a lot of different options. That's what allows me and Mike and Wes and Jimmy the Wiz to bring you these games on a almost more than weekly basis at this point. Couple of games of the week to start through the first couple of weeks of the season.
Ooh.
Awkward deflection as Nocera had to be on his toes.
I think that was their first shot of the game right there. He did not look ready for that, but good job keeping his eye on it and tracking it.
Can you technically have a shot on goal if it was from your own guy, then deflected off your own guy?
They didn't count it, so we're gonna go with no.
So no shots on goal still for the York Dukes. I guess one shot on goal for York Dukes from the St. Ignatius Wolfpack. Helfrich drops it deep. We'll head for a change. Sean O'Leary wraps around the boards, not out. Falls to the stick of Cameron Arvanitis. He can't get a shot off, and chipped out Griffin Hayes with some space. Finally gets one in on Nocera, right in the middle of the chest for the first shot on goal for the York Dukes. I want to make sure we mention, too, this great goal cam you're getting a look at now. Big thank you to New Trier Hockey Club, who are the official sponsors of the goal cam on the SHL network. They were the original funders of those cameras and renew that sponsorship every season since. A big thank you to New Trier Hockey Club. Give us that great view,
So nice
Mike.
to have. So nice to have. Such a cool angle to get right behind the goaltenders.
Puck quickly taken away by Biden. 1-on-2, will drop it deep, head in on the forecheck. Mason Shorter over to support. Hayes now in the far corner, trying to work it up the boards. Over to cut it off is Bergman. Shorter now, pinned in the corner. Gonna carry it out. Finds Camposano, 2-on-2. Come Camposano and Passion. Back to Camposano. Puck trickling through the skates as Nocera kicks it to the corner. Good stick lift. Now Camposano in the slot. Takes a shot. Looking backdoor Passion. I don't think Passion was expecting it. Camposano maybe a little too selfish. Unselfish, I should say. Now Ignatius fortunate to clear the zone as a broken stick for a defenseman had them shorthanded. Velarde missing everything, deflecting off the Dukes, so no icing. Gloved and knocked down by Sean O'Leary, rifles it off the boards, but sent back the other direction by Velarde. Really nice turnout on a Sunday night here. Sunday night pucks, the shot deflected. Pretzi in the corner. Tries to go up the middle of the ice, at least for the moment. Kept in by Velarde. Most of the stands full. You got a bunch of fans wrapping the boards as well here on this Sunday night. The Dukes just taking the Kennedy down from Addison. Ignatius, as we stand, just about three or four blocks from their campus. Centering pass, but alertly swiping it aside was Velarde. Now out in front, trying a backhanded shot was Spano. Couldn't get anything on it. Puck comes loose, backhanded shot went off the shin pad of Anthony Pacente. Now in the corner, Vasek. Waiting for it back at the near point was James Wood. And instead it goes to Sam Reef on the opposite side, but intercepted by Ethan Maurer. Spano to Fafinski. Fafinski pass, Spano fouls it up, and a big shot block from Woods, as Nocera was a bit out of his net. Kept in by Parati. Fafinski will put it back in deep for Maurer. Vasek does a nice job using his body to win the puck for the Wolfpack, but Spano keeps it alive. Fires it just wide. Ethan Maurer going to follow it up for the Dukes. Spun around the board. Spano centering pass, but the rest of the Dukes were going for a change. Ignatius rifles this down ice for an icing. Been a fast-moving first period. Just 1:51 left.
Yeah, Wes, I'm curious what you think with Nocera. Obviously, only 2 shots on net for York. Even a few of the chances, like, they're not getting to them. How difficult is that for a goaltender to, fight through that and stay focused in this game?
Mike, I think it's really difficult, especially because we have so much flow. Usually in between the whistles, you're able to skate around a little bit. When there's all that flow, you're basically just stuck in your crease.
Stuck, right? Yeah.
Right? So you've seen a few sloppy pucks come off of his pads for the 2 shots that he's had. And it's so hard to settle in when you have that little amount of action.
You get the sound effects there as the puck hit while Wes's mic was still on. York bench wants a penalty. They're not going to get one. Dylan Hahn wraps it in around the boards. Comes for Gavin Brown. His shot scooped up by Nocera, and really the first clean look he's had through 15-plus minutes.
Yeah, and you can feel the ice starting to tilt a little bit more even now. York's starting to develop a little bit of their own forecheck over to our right here, and I expect I expect a little bit more of that. York's been on their heels a little bit. Ignatius has been pushing the pace. Let's see them try to establish their forecheck, get a little cycle going, create a few more chances offensively, try and get the first one here with the minute and a half left in the first.
Draw to come to the right of Nocera. It's Papadopoulos opposite Hahn. Hahn able to pull it back, but Sanfilippo gets first control of it. Hahn right back to take it away for the Wolfpack. Kept in at the point shorter. His wrist shot knocked down by Nathan Lizotte. Now Lizotte has it in the far corner. Papadopoulos again able to keep it in for the Dukes. Finally forced out by Meyer. Meyer stood up by Pretzi. And now a big hit in the corner from Papadopoulos. And the arms stay down. Another big hit as Pretzi's had a physical shift. He wasn't thrilled with some liberties that happened behind the play, and he took some himself.
Yeah, very surprising no call there. I assumed they were going to take coincidentals, but they took nobody, so we play on.
With speed comes Lizotte in the final 30 of the period. Pacente wraps it around. Kept in for a moment by Lizotte. Now Passion fouls it up. Passion trying to steal one here at the end of this period where Ignatius has had the better of play but haven't been able to find the back of the net. Campesano's backhanded pass intercepted. Now gambling and losing is Pacente. 2-on-1 come Ignatius. Across for Meyer, just too far for him. It's a good job by Shorter to make it difficult. And I'll be honest, I didn't catch why we got a whistle.
Up went out of play, I think. Hit off a stick.
Yeah, it looked like Max Meyer tried to center that, and just a great stick by one of the York Duke defensemen there that put that puck out of play.
5.9 to go in a scoreless first period. Spencer Montgomery talked before the game, Mike, about their scoring drought here over the last little bit.
Not for lack of effort. 13 shots on net. They've had a lot of chances.
Final effort, 2 seconds to go, and not able to get that final shot off before the whistle. After one period of action on the game of the week, Mike, it's 0-0.
Yeah, I think St. Ignatius has a lot of good things to talk about. I think Pulakaitis is going to be happy that it's 0-0, but he may not be too happy with how his team has played. I expect to see them figure that out here in the second period, but pretty even overall, in my opinion. Both teams having a few chances, but nothing too high grade so far.
We'll take a quick timeout, catch our breath, come back with second period action in just a moment. You're watching the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live.
My guess.
Back on the Game of the Week, Max Anderson, Mike Doherty, and Wes Anderson with you from Fifth Third Ice Arena on this Sunday night. Bears win, and absolutely unbelievable is the definition of that win.
Insanity.
So I think everybody in a little bit lighter mood. Funny enough, we were here doing a Game of the Week last year in the infamous Fail Mary, and we could see the entire lobby lose their mind as we assumed the Bears had won, only to find out that the lobby was reacting to the Hail Mary here at Fifth Third Ice Arena. So a little bit better feeling here tonight for both these teams. A neutral feeling, a scoreless first period, Mike, in what was largely controlled by Ignatius, especially the first 12 or 13 minutes. As this shot comes in on Levi Brown, will drop his glove on it. Really, the last 4 or 5 minutes, you start to see York find their footing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they respond after the intermission. Obviously, they have such a veteran coach in Evan Pulakaitis coming into this group, and I'm sure you guys mentioned it a lot on the last broadcast, but it'll be interesting to see how his team responds to the things that he is saying. It'll tell you the kind of command that he has in the room, especially as a new guy coming in. A lot of these kids have played together for years, you know, growing up in Elmhurst and playing for the Blues or the Bruins or any of those other AA programs in the state. You know, they know each other well, and when a new coach comes in, it's either buy in or not. And I assume that this team is going to be bought in with what he says. We'll see how they respond here in the second.
And it's not like he was coming into a barren program either,
Absolutely,
right?
For sure.
Matt Boeing had the Dukes in the state championship game for 2 straight years in 23 and 24 before stepping aside prior to this season. Hispano, what a move! He gets tripped as he gets a backhanded pass off.
Wow, no call.
Surprising not having our first call there. Cross the crease finds Maurer, back to Shorter. Gets it across to Pretzi. Right back Shorter, the one-timer, blocked out in front. A brave effort from Cameron Arvanitis. Yeah, the sprawl-out dive there to try to prevent the cross. Looked like a pretty clear
Definitely
trip
a penalty,
on Jimmy Spano, but it is being called liberally to say the least here early. Rizzuti with speed, shuffles it into the zone as Vasek following him. Plays it up the near wall, finds Reef, his shot well high and wide of the cage. Lizotte over to keep it alive at the far point. He'll fire it back down for Vasek. Centering pass, trying to find Rizzuti. Now Vasek hanging out in front of the net, trying to find the puck, has to go get it himself. D to D, finds Lizotte. His shot, he gets a deflection. Levi Brown Levi Brown. I'll get there eventually, a lot of Browns. Levi Brown falls on it.
Yeah, and just great tracking by him. A little bit of a screen there, too, by the Wolfpack, able to just follow that all the way into the glove. And once again, just doesn't give up a rebound. And you can see the Dukes needed a whistle there as well, just kind of able to regroup and refocus here with a fresh line.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this kid. He seems like pretty athletic. He moves around pretty good, especially for a freshman playing varsity. He looks like he stands in there pretty strong and moves around the net pretty good.
And when you're able to come in, beat New Trier, St. Viator, and GBS in your first 3 varsity starts, arguably the 3 top teams in the state of Illinois, you're doing something right. Camposano trying to win a board battle in the corners, able to come away with it, finds O'Leary at the near point. Across to Pirati, his shot deflects up into the air. It's gloved initially by Lizotte, but kept alive by Camposano. Camposano changes on the fly. Now possession will be taken over by Burke. Lizotte exits the way of Dylan Hahn. Tries to get it across, but O'Leary waiting for it in the Duke zone. Now Passion. Gets it across for Brown. His shot just misses the near post. Meyer comes over to deliver a hit. Comes to the other side and Liam Brown. Keaton Nix now below the goal. Nix making his way up the half wall. Gets it back to the point. Across for O'Leary. O'Leary's shot hits a body in front. Falls to the stick of Pienta, who takes it out for the Wolfpack. Levi Brown, good puck control to slow it down for his defenseman. Chip through neutral ice to Barton. Now Barton trying to find control in the offensive zone. Then it's Rizzuti on the near half boards. Bad turnover here from Rizzuti. Brown off the turnover, scores! Liam Brown takes advantage of the mistake, makes it 1-0 Dukes.
Really nice forecheck by Barton there. Putting the pressure on the St. Ignatius D. Just gave him no time. He had nowhere to go. He felt the pressure coming. As we see in this replay, this puck squared out to the front of the net. And no stick handle is the key on that. Didn't dust it off. Right when it gets on his stick, he fires that puck. It makes it really hard for Nocera to make that save. That puck comes out of nowhere. Wes, I'm sure you'd agree. That's a difficult save to make, and Brown leaves no mistake and makes this a 1-0 game.
Mike, look at you knowing goaltending.
Hey,
Nocera has no time to really get set as he pushes off that goal line. So great awareness there by Brown to put that right on net.
And now Nocera trouble handling the puck right back off the jump. Here's Gavin Brown trying to put pressure. But Mike, you mentioned one of the things that stood out on that play too. Rizzuti was closing space quickly, that if he had handled the puck at all, it probably would have been blocked. Now Ignatius trying to respond, but that quick wrister I think maybe caught Nocera a little slow as well. Here's Shorter. Deflects back for Rizzuti, who's going to carry it out for the Wolfpack, now trailing 1-0 in a game they feel like they've probably played better in so far. Charging the front of the net, taking out Levi Brown. On the charge was Charlie Jeremy. Good look of it from the goal cam there of Levi Brown staying strong in his crease. You see Jeremy was trying to stop himself.
Yeah, dangerous play there, but good by all the players. Everyone got out of there, no injuries or anything. But, yeah, it's really difficult for a team that obviously has been struggling to score. You're out shooting a team 15-4 and you give up that first goal. You have to try to respond here. The next 5 minutes are very important. You don't want to let it get to 2-3-0. Try and get this puck in deep. Get back to what you were doing in that first period. The goals will come if the chances keep coming. So just keep the pressure on and stick to what you know and stick to what you do well, and just trust that those goals are going to come. Because it is just a matter of time, Max. I mean, you're not going to go 2 games, hopefully 3 games without scoring a goal. You just have to stay focused and keep working at it.
Yeah, a shutout loss to GBS on the 29th of October. A 1-0 affair last night that for now is just paused. Similar thing happened last year with GBN and New Trier in a game where a glass pane shattered, and they never actually ended up finishing it. They're waiting to see if it would make a difference in the standings, and by the time it got to the end of the season, it didn't. So they ended up, I believe, just scrapping that game. I can't remember if New Trier ended up getting the win out of it. I think they were up a goal going into the third period. But regardless, ended up not being impactful on the final standings. We'll see if that's the same case for Ignatius and New Trier. With how tight things, Mike, have been early in the SHL,
it could be important.
I would expect it to have to get made up. It has been as balanced a start to an SHL season since I've been doing this in 10 years.
Which is great for the league. You know, a lot of good teams, and anyone can win. That's what you want in a league like this. So that's great to see for high school hockey in Illinois.
Yeah, certainly New Trier's reign over the state over the last couple of seasons, as good a year as any for somebody else to step up and take it from him. We'll see that here. Another good stick lift from Spano. Gets a quick shot in on Nocera, but turned away. On comes Helfrich. He fires a shot high of the cage. Rattles all the way around to the near point. Ernest, and has it forced out of the zone. Spano putting pressure on. Slowed up as Helfrich finds it. He takes a shot, misses the target. Now that becomes a growing issue. Ignatius, several shots now in this period with good looks, just not finding the target. Pacente tries to get an out wrapped around the boards. Now a shot blocked. Off and running is Campasano. Campasano up the slot, pulls to his forehand and scores! Luke Campasano takes the turnover and makes it 2-0 York.
Yeah, a definite leader on this York team for sure. Forcing the turnover at the blue line. A very, very nice move. It looked like he lost his footing a bit too and still was able to keep his composure and bring that puck back to the near post. And as we see the reaction of the York bench, they're fired up. Yeah, I mentioned it at the start of this period, Max. I mean, such a great response by York so far in this period. It seems like they've kept the puck in the neutral zone a lot. Their neutral zone play has been really good, but the chances that they have gotten, they've taken full advantage of, and they now lead 2-0. Just under halfway through this second period. But, yeah, I really like what I'm seeing out of York. It's going to be Ignatius is going to have to turn it on right now and try to find a way to get out of the second, at worst, down 2.
For Ignatius, they've lost 3 of their last 4. They're going on better than 100 minutes of play without a goal at this point. Jack Passion gets the assist on the Campasano goal. For Campasano, it's his second goal of the campaign. Passion picks up his first assist on the SHL season. Hahn below the goal. Centering pass, Meyer in the slot, just over the crossbar. Couldn't tell if that had a little bit of a deflection to guide it over the bar or not. Back to Burke at the near point. He'll skate with it. Tries back door looking for Alex Cook, who was making his way that direction. Keaton Nix able to chip it out for the Dukes. Now played by a high stick, will get a draw in the defensive zone of York.
Yeah, we aren't able to tell from that angle if that got blocked either. But, Max, yeah, I really think it's important for this Ignatius team now to shoot for rebounds, keep pucks low, low blocker, low glove, 5-hole, try and create as much commotion in front of Brown as you possibly can. Those are the goals you're going to score when you're struggling. It's the ugly ones. It's the bounces in front, the rebounds. Those are the goals you got to score, but you got to get good shots that are going to create those chances for you.
In this period, Mike, it's been an issue of finding the target, too.
Yeah.
You've got some good looks, and you just continue to be off the mark here to start this second period. Sean O'Leary absorbs, I should say. Certainly didn't observe it. Liam Brown skating forward, has it taken away by Sean Biden. Augustus Bergman tries to get it out, but kept in by Brown. His shot wide. Papadopoulos now putting pressure on the forecheck. Brown again wins the puck back for the Dukes. Brown, even with the goal, tries a sharp angle, but hugging the post is Nocera to keep it out. Poked free. Now back to Perotti, high off the chest of Nocera. But the defense of Ignatius able to swipe it out of immediate danger. Kept alive by Sanfilippo. Papadopoulos doing work on the near half wall. Ignatius out shooting this York team 15-7, but down 2-0 on the scoreboard. Finally able to clear. That goes wide of Brown for an icing. Again, I want to thank our great sponsors here on the SHL network. Highlighted New Trier Hockey Club as our goal sponsors. Want to thank Glenbrook North Hockey as well. Stepped up big this year. They sponsor the third period where winners win. We'll talk more about them as we get to the third period. A big thank you to them. A good look at all of our sponsors there. Again, if you're interested in sponsoring the SHL, please reach out to any of the program's coaches. They'll put you in touch with the right people, or you can DM the Instagram account. Over 7,000 followers on that these days. As Spano shot wide, Mike, a little bit different than when you were here a couple of years ago. We have a
Bit of an upgrade.
Nice media team now between Dylan Ward and Sam Schwartz and the work they do. Of course, what we do here on the broadcast network. And
Yeah, they're doing that SHL Network podcast everyone can pay attention to as well, keeping you updated on the league.
the Scholastic sit-down. It's a good call. Is stepping up a big hit for Mason Shorter. The Scholastic sit-down, a great work from Dylan Ward and Luke Jordan. He's been a great contributor on the network the last couple of seasons. Make sure you find that on the SHL Network YouTube page. Comes out, I believe, every Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you like and subscribe here on the YouTube page. That helps us as well. We appreciate all of our great viewers. We've got hundreds watching right now. There'll be thousands before the evening's over. Shorter. One little stick handle around the blue line. A Cardinal sin, Mike Dougherty. Forces him off sides.
Max, I would just like to say I think we've broken history. I don't think I've ever seen a high school hockey game go a period and a half without a penalty being called. So I'd just like to mention that. Very rare. You maybe, I see you thinking.
I'm racking my brain. Man,
Crazy.
I can certainly less than one hand can hold.
Yes.
There's been some candidates. It's just been a relatively loosely called game so far.
Exactly. I don't mind it. Listen, usually we're complaining that it's too many calls, so I don't mind it. Let the boys play. Let them battle. Let them decide the fate. Don't let the refs decide the fate of the
Mike,
game.
I am well on record that in every sport at every level, the game is over officiated.
Yes, for sure.
And so anytime, maybe that was a tripping or that was a roughing. Mason Shorter's being wind up, taken away by Reef. But blatant stuff, you got to call. But if the question is 50-50, it shouldn't be a penalty every time, in my opinion.
I agree.
Fortunately, they don't let me train the referees.
That's for a good thing. That's a good thing, probably. Max.
Now on the whiff of the shot was James Erdis. Tries to get it across, just not quite in sync, looking for Christopher Kelly. And not getting a shot towards goal. Passion has his arms pulled on. He was looking for a hooking call, but doesn't get it. Now we're going to get the game's first penalty.
I jinxed it.
We can blame Mike Dougherty that we're going to get the game's first penalty. It's going to be an interference call.
The good old caster's curse, as Dylan Ward likes to say.
So 6:34 remaining here in the second period, I should say. It's going to be York heading to the power play first.
I was going to ask Wes, too. Obviously we mentioned Nicholas and Sarah in the first period, not seeing a lot of chances, and then now seeing a flurry here to start the second. Obviously 2 goals that were grade A chances, a breakaway and that chance in front. How hard is it now to settle in and, get your head right to face the next half of this game? You're still in it. How difficult is that?
Yeah, the confidence is definitely a little rattled when you see just those 2 goals against the 8 shots. But his mentality is just next shot, you just got to stop and just ride from there. And at this point, it's only a 2-goal game, right? They're still in this, even though they're out shooting the Dukes here. They're still in this game, so he just needs to keep kicking. He has the confidence, too, of his team in front of him. We know there's been issues with the goal scoring.
The consternation right now, Spencer Montgomery is incensed that call went against Ignatius. You saw it on the replay from the goal cam angle. We'll see if we've got it from the wide angle. We do. We'll take another look at it here. It ends up going on Urtis. Oh, boy. I can understand the concern. I mean, certainly some pull and some contact. Looked more awkward than anything, and you could see it kind of the corner of your screen here from the goal cam.
It's a tough call. In my mind, I think the guy that initiates the contact should get the penalty, but he definitely pulled him down, so there's an argument for both guys to go, but I think they both committed a penalty. There was an interference and then a hold, so I totally understand Spencer's frustration.
And that's why he wanted a conference with the officiating crew, not thrilled with the call. Could have gone either way, and it goes against Ignatius, already trailing 2-0. Now they head to the penalty kill, which has been very good. Second in the league in the penalty kill and just behind New Trier by 1/10 of a percentage point, so virtually the best penalty kill in the league for St. Ignatius. Meanwhile, for York, it's been a bit of a struggle in the power play. Just 14%, good for fifth. That's improved since we saw them 10 days ago against New Trier. They've got a couple of tallies, but still not usually where you see an Evan Polikitis coach team. That's usually finds its way somehow towards the top of the power play rankings every year. Passion for Jimmy Spano. Spano loses an edge. Taken away by Velarde. Kept in by O'Leary. Cross for Passion. One time for a shorter. Gets a deflection in front, still loose, but swiped away by Burke. Sent right back in. Big check is sprawling forward is Nocera to freeze it with 56 remaining on the power play.
And what a shot by Mason Shorter. I've seen that one time or a few times here tonight. Yeah, as we see a really good angle of it there. Yeah, Nocera had to fight through the screen as well. Some good looks here to start this power play for York. They're moving it around pretty good. They got stuck in the neutral zone a little bit. Obviously, offensive zone draws are so crucial on the power play. So we'll see if they can snap this one back and create a chance here in the last 56 seconds of this power play.
5.5 to go in the period. Bauer not able to win it. Rizzuti physical to win the puck for Ignatius. Comes free to Lizotte, who fires it down ice to Levi Brown. Pirati getting pressure from Rizzuti. Wants the action clear, and he'll bring it up the ice. Rink wide. Maurer finds Pretzi. Rifles it around the boards, finds Maurer on the far side. Maurer pressed in the corner. Passion able to break it free. Far point across for Pretzi. Pretzi just gets rid of it as he loses an edge. Spano drops for Maurer. Final 18 of the power play. Maurer around for Passion. Good possession from the Dukes. Trying to get something towards net. Pirati. Back to Passion, far half wall. Looks for Spano, one-timer, never got to him. Spano somehow wins it back. Gets a shot towards goal, but never got all the way through. Now fortunate deflection as Rizzuti is going to be able to waste the rest of the power play. So penalty killed by Ignatius, keeping them in the game down 2-0. Pretzi carries it forward. Pretzi going to chase his own dump. Spun around the boards and finds Christopher Kelly. Kelly fires it, finds the bench. It'll be a neutral zone draw. Actually, it's going to come all the way back to the Ignatius zone.
And such a huge kill, obviously such a huge kill, but to be able to get through that, and now you have 5 minutes, right? Like a 5-minute, like a 2-minute drill in football. That's the focus right now. You got 4:17 left. Get out of this period at worst down 2. You come into the locker room and you can regroup and come out with it. You can score 2 goals in a period for sure. And like Coach Spencer mentioned earlier, hopefully you get one and those floodgates open.
Pafinski wraps it around. Pinned against the wall is Camposano. Ortiz does a good job deflecting it, getting it deep. Helfrich tries a check but gets stood up. O'Leary giving it chase. Max Meyer in the corner. Able to get back to the far point. The shot comes in. Rebound, give it up, but quickly taken away. This time by Sean O'Leary. Finds Camposano through. What a save, Nocera. Quick whistle.
Wow.
But Nocera keeping his team in the game as Camposano had another breakaway.
What a pass. Sorry, Wes, go ahead.
Yeah, huge save by Nocera there, because if this ends up being a 3-goal game and one that the Dukes get with less than 5 minutes to go here in the second and take that momentum into the third, that could be game over.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult to come back after that. But shout out O'Leary. Oh, my Lord, what a pass from his own, hash mark? Right on the money. Sauce pass to this opposite blue line. Nice corral by Camposano. And like you said, nice save by Nasser to keep this game with the 2-goal lead.
Wes, from your angle down there, you probably had that right down the barrel on that stretch pass.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew Shaper of the New York Islanders right there. Just some great sauce from his defensive zone.
Now the stick of, that time it was Reed Pienta, got caught up in the hands, but no call as Griffin Hayes fights through it. Now O'Leary. Hayes can't handle it. Meyer gets turned around. Ignatius wants a penalty. No call coming. Camposano fights through a check, looking for a centering pass of O'Leary. Slow change for the Dukes on the long change here, but offsides. As little too eager to get in the zone was James Woods.
Yeah, I think it looked like they were at the end of a shift. Not a lot of gas in the tank there to hop on that rush. But, yeah, usually you'll see like a makeup call of some kind on those controversial ones. They're keeping the whistle in the pocket and letting these guys play. Obviously, Ignatius looking for a call there, but nothing doing so far. So they're gonna have to win this. They're gonna have to win this game 5-on-5, Max. They're not gonna be given a chance like that unless they earn it. And you got to try and create as much as you can 5-on-5 here in the last 3 minutes.
Rizzuti able to carry it into the zone. Pretzi pushed off the puck. Rizzuti, good centering pass, but couldn't find a fellow Wolfpack. York just has not been able to find any kind of offensive rhythm. Haven't been able to find much possession in the offensive zone. Really haven't been able to sustain much at all. The shots on goal advantage aside, it just has not been as fluid as you're used to seeing a Wolfpack team under Spencer Montgomery. Barton plays it along. Liam Brown now in the corner. Takes a weird bounce. Loose out in front is getting a shot off was Barton. Puck played in deep by Vasek. Following it up Jeremy, but couldn't get it towards net. High off the boards from Pretzi and played out. Now Barton. That could have been offsides. Thought Liam Brown was in a little bit early. No call. Under 2 to go here in the second period. Now turned over. Sanfilippo on the back check. He flips a shot in on Nocera, but swallowed up by the netminder for a whistle.
Yeah, obviously, scary turnover there. Kind of got bailed out. Sanfilippo threw it at the net, which I don't hate the play, but really nice job by Nocera here. I don't know if we got we'll try and get the replay up for you guys in a minute, but Barton pops out in front, and that puck's right there, and that almost squeaked through the 5-hole, but really good job of him to track that puck and stay focused, even though his guy looked like he was going to get the clear to stay home and make that save. That's a huge save with just under 2.5 minutes left in this period.
Draw to come to the right of Nocera. Sanfilippo off the draw. Big save, Nocera. He was sprawling, had to keep the 5-hole closed to keep his team in the game. Erdis had it in the zone for a moment, lost possession, gets it back. Now it flutters into the glove of Levi Brown off of Chris Kelly.
And Mike, you alluded to it a little bit earlier in this period, is how would Nocera respond?
Yeah.
Giving up 2 goals in the first 6 shots. And since then, he's made 3 or 4 huge saves to just keep this a 2-goal game. So, if anything, the first star on the Wolfpack side's got to be number 40 in net.
I 100% agree. That last one I think might have been his best. That looked like it was going to go in for sure. Good job by him to keep this 2-goal game.
Maurer and Helfrich on the draw. It's a stalemate. Everybody comes in to help. Somehow Helfrich comes out with it, flips it towards net, deflects up into the netting. We'll get a whistle.
Yeah, Max, minute 19 left in this second. Let's see if Ignatius can try to build something here. Obviously, not a lot of time, but you create 2 or 3 chances. You go into the locker room with some confidence, expecting to come out here in the third firing. Like Wes mentioned earlier, this game is far from over. You're still only 2 goals down. You get 1, never know what's going to happen.
Kick to the corner. Now Helfrich trying to dig it out. Pops up, and Maurer happy to just swat it out of his own zone. Comes to Spano, but that'll be a hand pass call. But it was from their own defensive zone. That's what the York bench is incensed about.
Max, I think So if he does it from his defensive zone into the neutral zone, it is a hand pass. But I think what Coach Pulakaitis is so upset about is it touched the Ignatius defenseman as it passed him, which I'm not a rules expert. I don't know. Wes, maybe you know. Do you need possession for the?
I think as long as you touch it, it should negate. I couldn't really tell from my vantage point.
It touched him for sure, but there was no possession. So
Looks like Jimmy the Wiz has a replay queued up. We'll take a look. Hopefully at the
Beauty.
next whistle. Was about to run it, but then we got back underway. Far point cut off as Velarde fires it below the goal. The Dukes trying to hold on to this 2-goal lead heading into the ice cut. Turning and firing was Erdis. Never got through. Waiting for it at the near point is Lazat. Instead, firing towards the slot. Nobody in particular there for it as Pirati takes it away for the Dukes. Goes a little bit too far for icing.
both of these benches are fired up right now. This is an important game, man. I mean, obviously it's still early in the year. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, we just saw it. Jimmy, if you can run it one more time.
Sorry, Jimmy, I wasn't paying attention.
We need to get Mike locked in.
Yep.
He's got the reverse going. I think the guy in question was Lazat. So you see the hand pass there,
Jimmy.
and you just out of frame. Can't quite tell if Lazat got a piece of it, but from the York bench perspective, they certainly thought it did.
That looked like it was a break for Ignatius, I think, there for sure, which they need and they'll take with, there's just over a minute left in the period, so big 24 seconds to keep the score the same.
Passion takes it. Quick shot. Challenges Sarah high and wide. Final 15 in the corner. 4 or 5 bodies coming together trying to sort through it. It's Rizzuti that comes away with it. Rink wide for Meyer. Ignatius in the final 10 of the period. Can they get something? Meyer fires it in. Brown turns it aside. That will salt away the rest of this period. And after two, a 2-0 lead for the Road Warriors. That's the York Dukes being outshot, but up 2-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Max, as I mentioned earlier, what a response by York in that second period to come out only getting 1 shot in the first and putting 2 on the net. For St. Ignatius, you go into this locker room, take a deep breath, relax. This game's only 2-0. You got plenty of time in the third. You come out ready to go, try and even this up, and you just need one then, and then you see what can happen. But overall, pretty even and a good game so far.
Take time out, catch our breath, play some highlights. We'll come back with third period action here on the Game of the Week. Stay with us. Third period action coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to Fifth Third Ice Arena, third period action. Coming your way in just a couple of moments. A 2-0 lead for the York Dukes as I've got Wes Anderson and Mike Doherty by me. Wes Anderson here on the call. And speaking of those York Dukes, we're going to send it right down to Wes Anderson, who's standing by with GBN head coach Evan Polakidis. Wes, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Coach has been the talk of the town. He's the freshman's coming in, 3 straight games winning. What kind of spark has he brought to this team?
Well, for tonight, honestly, without him in the first period, we could have been down 3, 4, maybe even 5. So, you know, he's a calm goalie. He wants the net, and, you know, he certainly doesn't play like a freshman.
Now, you guys were able to get 2 goals in that second period. What do you guys need to do in the third to close things out?
I think we got to play on our toes. I mean, if we back up on these guys, we're going to get hurt. And, you know as well as I do, it takes 1 goal to give them life, and all of a sudden you're in a real big dogfight, and I think the momentum goes to them.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the third.
All right, thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you so much, Wes and Mike. That's exactly what we were talking a little bit off air, was this 2-0 lead for York. It feels like that next goal could completely swing the game. If it goes Ignatius' way, could be interesting things for the third period. If York can find it, they could all but put it away.
Absolutely. In a 2-goal game, the next goal is always so crucial. And I really liked what Evan said there about them getting on their toes. Obviously, with the 2-goal lead, teams have a tendency to sit back and wait. But I really like what he said. Take it to them. Don't wait for the puck to come to you. Don't sit on your heels. Get on your horse. Put pucks in. Put pressure on their D. Force turnovers and take this game away from them. And you know, if you get the third goal, just as he said, the game is essentially, you know, yours to win. So really important. And for St. Ignatius, not to leave them out here, the message from Spencer Montgomery, I'm sure, is simple. Every single thing needs to get on the net. Put them on. Establish a forecheck. Try and get an ugly one. It only takes 1 goal.
Before we get started here in the third period, I want to remind you that the third period of SHL games is brought to you by Glenbrook North Hockey. The winners win in the third period. Sorry to find my place in my read. So big thank you to Glenbrook North Hockey Club, and they sponsor this third period where, you know, the biggest moments in every SHL network game happen. So big thank you to Glenbrook North, and of course, winning gets done in the third period, sometimes in OT. So
Sometimes.
we'll have to shout them out if we get there. But big thank you to Glenbrook North sponsoring the third period of all SHL network action here in the 2025-2026 season. As we are underway in the third period of action, fresh sheet of ice. Back to the home sides that they started in the first period. Ignatius in the goal to our right. York to our left is a big hit to get the third period started. Mason Shorter stepping up to lay the wood. Max Meyer coming right back. He finds a goal in the first 20 seconds. Max Meyer beats Brown. Stick side to make it 2-1.
Yeah, what a turn of events. Such a nice shot. Finds that short side above the blocker. Huge hit by Mason Shorter of York on the opposite end of the ice that leads to that break. I like the step. I like the attempt, but he leaves that one defenseman back, and Ignatius finally breaks through. Just 20 seconds into this first period, or third period, excuse me. Huge goal, massive goal, gets them back into this game. You can see their bench, how fired up they are. They're ready to go. It's only 1-goal game now. This is going to be a fun third. Well, let's see what happens. That is exactly what Evan Polakidis was worried about. Now we have a game on our hands.
Now 2-1 as we get started in this Glenbrook North third period. The York Dukes now with their first bout of adversity and pressure here after they've handled the first 2 periods so well. It took just 20 seconds in this third period to get to a 1-goal game. Nathan Lazat spins it across. Pirati steps up for the Dukes. Now Jack Passion. Griffin Hayes able to deposit the puck below the goal line. Camposano giving chase, but Charlie Jeremy skates around the far wall with it. Passion keeps it in. Camposano now. He'll put some pressure on Lazat. D2D finds Woods. On comes Chris Kelly. And on Levi Brown, who a little bit dangerously opts to play it. O'Leary spins it around the boards, taken by Hayes. Hayes misses everybody, and that will be an icing. So a momentous start for Ignatius here in the third period.
By their leading point getter as well, and Max Meyer. Just a huge goal to get this period started. That first shift coming out of the locker room is going to be really important, obviously, and they did exactly what they set out to do, and that's to cut this lead in half.
Clean draw win for Ignatius. Get the deflection in front, and now it's going to be a York penalty. Looked like a trip. It might have been Levi Brown with his goal stick that did the tripping. If not, it was Pacente right next to him.
Oh, it looks like that was Brown, the goaltender there, yep.
Yeah, guys, he's pleading with the ref there that was an incidental contact there. You can see he's pretty upset that he's shaking his head as well, but that momentum has definitely swung in the Wolfpack favor. That goal just 20 seconds into the period. You can see that's starting to build here, especially with the man advantage.
Yeah, I'm sure Wes the Wall was familiar with that incidental contact back in his day.
Oh, the old accidentally on purpose, Max.
Max, that was his specialty back in the day. I remember watching Wes when he was 10 years old making that move, making that his specialty.
Yeah, the key to that is you have to let go of the stick, so it makes it look like you actually didn't do it on purpose.
Now when the youngster Levi Brown comes back and watches this broadcast, he'll know for next time. You've heard it from Wes the Wall that you just got to let go of the goal, and you'll usually get away with that. But instead, York now, having already given up a goal in this period and shot towards goal, trickling through, but never in all the way on Brown, and finds a way to creep out of the zone back to neutral ice as Lizotte takes over for the Wolfpack. Lizotte with some speed and space drops it for Meyer. Meyer towards goal, fought off by Brown. Trying to play it high off the glass, kept alive at the far point by Dylan Hahn for the moment. Back right out to neutral ice. Wolfpack had to make sure it cleared. Pacente with a good hit on Lizotte. Hayes tried to wrap it around the boards, but comes right to Lizotte. Challenged by Fafinski, who clears it for the Dukes with a minute 15 left on the power play.
Yeah, nice clear. Not much doing. They had that one chance there, that shot on Brown, but still another minute left. Let's see if they can get this puck in, set it up, try and work it around and create at least one more chance here on this power play.
Jeremy with some speed, goes leaping over his stick. Papadopoulos back to sandwich him off the puck side of the net is Rizzuti. Now Mason Shorter gets good body position, but the active stick taking it back. Jeremy for Rizzuti, finds Reef. Across for Burke. Burke takes the shot right into the Y on the chest of Levi Brown, and he freezes it.
Yeah, we heard Coach Pulakaitis mention we got a little bit of a scuffle here after the whistle. Yeah, we heard Coach Pulakaitis mention it when Wes talked to him before the third period here about how just one goal. Looks like we're going to get coincidentals. Everyone's a bit upset, but I don't mind that call. Send them both even strength, and we move on. But you can. I don't know about you, Max or Wes, but you can feel it in this building that this energy has risen a bit in this third, and that's what Coach Evan was saying. It takes one to give them life, and the life is there now, and the belief is there. It'll be interesting to see how this next 14 minutes progresses, but it's definitely swinging in Ignatius's favor here.
Coincidental minors in high school hockey do not lead to additional reduction of bodies on ice, unlike at the NHL level, so we'll stay 5-on-4, no 4-on-3 here. 25 remain on the power play. Burke carries it into the zone. Throws it off the boards to himself, now below the goal. Looking for Vasek. Vasek gets his jersey pulled on. Now Spano takes it away for the Dukes, winds up, but can't get it all the way down ice. Trying to play it through the middle of the ice, much to the displeasure of the York bench. Now Shorter, trying to absorb
careful.
a check of Rizzuti. Puck bouncing around in front. Now below the goal, Vasek. That's the end of the power play. Nick's back on the ice for the Dukes. Vasek centering pass, looking for Rizzuti. Couldn't get a piece of it. Liam Brown just able to trickle out of the zone. So York can clear and reset now 5-on-5. Active stick from Nix. Now Nix turns it over. Espano in the slot. Trent can't get it across. What an opportunity for the Dukes. Basically a 2-on-0. Keep Nix going to handle it. Remember that one depending on how this game ends up. Now Nix gets a deflection, he scores! Makes up for the miss on the 2-on-0. Couldn't tell who it hit in front, but regardless, it's 3-1.
Yeah,
Might have hit off of Nocera's stick, in fact. Let's take another look.
yeah. It looks like Passion may have tipped it. The way, yeah. Ooh, that looked like a high stick maybe.
Take another look at it. Certainly, I think that went off
It
Nocera's
might
stick.
have, yeah. Weird bounce, but
From the first angle, I saw what you saw, where it looked like Passion's stick was above the bar, but I
Yeah.
don't know that he ever made contact with it. Now, if they do announce this a Passion goal, then I'd be with you. That
Yeah.
might be a huge break for the Dukes.
yes.
But I don't know that it did. I think that's a Keaton Nix goal. We'll wait for the official call from Sam Schwartz. I can see him studying the replay. He's trying to figure out exactly what the call was. I believe it went off of Nocera, so it should be a goal for Keaton Nix. It would be his third of the SHL campaign. So the progress made in the first couple of minutes of this third period by Ignatius erased with 12 and a half to go. Bergman takes just a step too long to get in the offensive zone of the offsides.
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure of coaching Keaton Nix a few years ago at the Blues, and he's a great young player for this York team. I expect him to be a big piece for Pulakaitis this year and next before he's done at York. But, yeah, that was a great play, and really nice job of him to recoup that and, make up for that, as Max, as you mentioned, that 2-on-0 that he kind of lost, kind of fumbled on. And just a huge goal to make it 3-1 after giving one up. It felt like Ignatius was coming, and that answer really – the team took the wind out of their sails a bit.
Yeah, that 2-on-0, if he would have just dribbled the puck across
That's all
to
he had
Jimmy
to do.
Spano, it would have been a tap-in.
Yep.
So talk about making up for your own mistake. That clips somebody in the Wolfpack zone, so we'll have a neutral zone just outside of the Ignatius zone.
And it's really important now for Ignatius to try to respond again. It's so difficult, obviously, when you give up that goal, when it feels like you're back into the game, and now you're back down 2. But, again, still so much time, and momentum shifts so quickly in these high school games that you just never know. So you just got to keep your foot on and try and get the next one, and then you never know. You get you back in the game again.
Brown able to get a quick stick on it for Pirati. Sends it up the middle of the ice. In on Nocera, so he's got to play it, and a little bit risky that he didn't drop a glove on it. You heard the sound effect from Mike Doherty. I think we were all thinking what exactly Nocera was thinking, but it worked out for him. Gavin Brown with the puck now, turns it over. Sanfilippo can't get it out. Pirati was stepping on the puck. Fired in by the Wolfpack. O'Leary plays it for the Dukes. Hard off the wall, but not out. Sanfilippo finally able to make sure it gets out of his own zone. Brown fires it towards Nocera. Papadopoulos putting pressure in the near half wall, but it pops free onto the stick of Gray Velarde. Now Rizzuti pulls to his backhand, lowers the shoulder, centering pass. The shot just misses the mark from Max Meyer. We get a great look at that from our angle. Max Meyer missed that far post by less than a foot. Now Woods. Pacente makes sure it's not controlled, gets all the way deep. Back to play it now is O'Leary. In the corner, the wrestling begins. Pienta trying to force it out. Eventually, it's Vasek. Here's the shot. Hits a couple of bodies high off the glass. Back to the point, Lazat. His shot wide. Followed up as Brown had to quickly get post to post. Gets post to post again. Makes the best save of the period. Another shot. Brown fought off the first.
Wow.
The follow-up chance finds the back of the net. And it's 3-2.
Yeah, York better be careful. You don't want to get one up and then take a penalty right after.
So Ignatius able to respond. A lot of traffic in front. Trying to see which stick actually got the final piece of it. I believe it was Brady Vasek getting his 5th goal of the year.
In what was, in my opinion, Max, their best shift of the period. Yeah, it looks like Pacente is going to go. I think he was waiting for somebody from Ignatius as well. We'll see if he takes anybody or if it's going to be a power play.
And it looks like it's going to be an Ignatius power play after that.
And as I just mentioned, how quickly these games shift, Max. I mean, just like that, you get a power play, you get a goal to make it 3-2, and now a power play as well, and a really, really good shift to build on as well. That was a really nice sequence there for Ignatius to cut this lead in half, and now they're going to have another chance with a 2-minute power play here to try to tie this thing up.
10-12 to go, and Ignatius on the power play. For Brady Vasic, his 5th goal, now 12th point on the season. Vicente gets the cross-checking minor. It's a huge moment in this game. Ignatius already with the momentum, trying to get back to even. Comes back to Max Meyer at the near point. Meyer makes one man miss. Meyer tries to go cross ice. The deflection just misses the far post of Levi Brown. In the slot, Urtis, his shot deflects wide. Vasic trying to clear it and finally does, is Michael Barton.
Yeah, what a weird bounce off of Meyer's stick. Almost found its way to the back of the net.
Meyer gets pressure at the point, able to relieve it. The shot from Urtis. Brown had to make a save. Now shorthanded comes Barton. Barton one-on-one with Meyer. He loses an edge as it's Max Meyer whose shoulder goes into the goal, and now he's holding his left shoulder. As that looked like an uncomfortable move for him.
Yeah, we're going to see on this replay. Oh, he had a back door wide open. He didn't even see. That's a tough play, though. You're trying to get that puck on net. You don't know how much time you have.
You see the shoulder of Meyer go right into the post. He's a little slow heading back to the bench.
I like what I see by both these teams just driving the puck hard to the net, man. That's what you got to do at the high school level. There's not a lot of ice out there to take, so you got to create it and getting that inside leg on that D and driving to the front of the net. I love to see that by both teams I've seen do that tonight.
Face-off won by Ignatius in their own defensive zone. Never a good sign on the power play. Don't want to be having draws in your own zone, but they still have 45 seconds on this power play to make something happen. Here comes Reef. Sam Reef up the far wall. Escorted behind the goal by O'Leary. Pienta was there as well, and not able to keep it at the far point was Rizzuti. Half a minute left on the power play for St. Ignatius. Spano pressures, pushes wide. Now the shot from distance over the cage of Levi Brown. Again, a clean exit. Now Spano shorthanded. Can he catch up to it? He can, but a good poke check from Nocera doesn't let Spano drag it across goal mount. Griffin Hayes in a collision with Pienta behind his goal. Finally, the end of the penalty kill for York, back to 5-on-5. Right at the end of it, looked like a chance for Rizzuti, but Spano able to make sure that gets out of his own zone, and the Dukes can reset. Vicente stepping up, trying to make up for the 2-minute cross-checking call that nearly cost his team. Finds its way in on Nocera in a nice snow shower.
Scored by Brady Vasic. Credit the primary assist to number 18, James Woods.
7:49 remaining.
Assist to number 35, James Urtis. And St. Ignatius' second goal, scored by Vasic, assisted by Woods and Urtis at 6:48 of the third period.
Draw to come to the right of Nocera as you take a look at the two benches. Evan Pulakidis entered this period up 2 goals, now up just 1. Trying to make it 4 in a row for his Dukes against arguably 4 of the top 5, maybe top 6 teams in the state. Would be quite a run here in October and November for his young and developing team. Right at the blue line, it's dropped in by Biden. Shorter. Liam Brown trying to chip it up the wall, but kept in. Spun around the boards and not able to get to the near point was Alex Cook. Now it's a foot race with Jack Passion. And pushed off the puck. Interference being called for by the Dukes bench. No call to be had. Pops out. The shot from Pretzi blocked in front. Shorter can't quite handle it at the blue line. That's offsides.
This is going back a play or two, but... Oh, do we got something happening?
There's quite
Oh,
a
no.
bit of energy coming from the
Yeah.
York bench wanting an interference. Probably had a decent case
Yeah.
as Jack Passion was pushed off the puck trying to chase for it.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed with Nocera as well, Wes, maybe I don't know if you've seen him play this year yet, but his stick is very active in front of the net. He's been breaking up a lot of plays. I don't know if that's something you mentioned or seen as well.
Yeah, he had a pretty almost very risky play you guys mentioned on earlier. There, it's like you expect him to be a little bit more sure-handed there, especially down 2 goals at that point in the game.
Now a chance for Campasano, 3-on-1. Campasano with a sliding save from Nathan Lazant. Campasano couldn't make a decision, somehow gets the puck back. And a sharp angle, out in front, trying to stuff it home, Fafinski. But Nocera standing tall in goal to keep it a 1-goal game.
And Mike, you see there again the paddle out, trying to
Yep.
prevent that puck from going in the net side crease there. And something that you'll see Sergei Bobrovsky do that quite a bit too in the National Hockey League, just almost act like a third defenseman back there to prevent that puck from entering that crease area.
Draw one, pulled back to Shorter. Rips it around the boards, looking for Fafinski. Pretzi playing a little conservative, up a goal late in the third period. Doesn't pinch the point. Now Fafinski sends it to the far corner, Campasano. Pretzi coming up the board this time, trying to keep it alive, but just squeaks out of the zone as Ethan Maher sends it all the way down ice. The Dukes, a little bit of a slow change here. Ignatius trying to catch him in it. Sent in by Lazat. Up the far wall, Liam Brown not able to get it out. This shot chips in on Levi Brown. A little bit too casual from Liam Brown on that far side, Mike, especially at this point. You've got to make sure that puck near the blue line gets out of your own zone.
Absolutely. It's the 5-foot rule, right? Your defensive zone, 5 feet from the blue line, and then in the offensive zone when you're 5 feet behind it. You got to make sure those are 100% plays, especially in the last 10 minutes of the third period in a 1-goal hockey game. That's something I'm sure Evan Poulikitis is going to be mentioning and reminding these guys as the season goes on.
Mike, sound like a true former coach there with the 5-foot rule there. I love that out of you, my friend.
Of course. It's crucial. It's important. That's why us coaches always mention it, because you see it happen way too often where those mistakes ends up with pucks in the back of your net. It's way too often.
Clean win from the Wolfpack. Meyer, the one-timer. Levi Brown got just a piece of it. He's probably headed over the bar anyways, but Johnny on the spot was the freshman. Just able to keep it alive, at least for a moment, was Velarde. Now coming the other way, the blocker save, pops straight up. Centering pass, Brown, another save, right pad save, keeps it out twice. Third save, still able to keep it out is Levi Brown. Rizzuti trying a quick pass, still loose, and again chipped out. And that will trickle its way down for icing here with 5:31 left in the third period.
And guys, Levi Brown definitely did his stretching before this, just fully spread out on that last 2 opportunities. That right pad was flush against the post there. Just no opportunity for the Wolfpack to elevate that puck into the net. Just some great goaltending the Duke's netminder here.
Going to be a flurry of action here from the goal cam. The shot that got it started was Dylan Hans. Bounced around, got it to the front of that. That save right there off of the Grayson Rizzuti wraparound, the biggest of the bunch. Spun around the boards. Passion trying to stick it up the boards. Finally just forcing it out. Linesman says a deflection, so no icing. You know, Mike looking around like he's not so sure.
I don't understand that, but that's okay.
Pacente pinches in to keep it alive for the Dukes. Pops free for Passion. Now Erdis. Papadopoulos coming as well. Lays a hit on Erdis. Wraps around the boards, but again, you can see the Dukes defensemen starting to make some conservative decisions on these pinching moves. Under 5 to go. Make sure you stay with us after the game today. Of course, we'll have the post-game winners interview, sponsored by Loyola Academy Hockey Club, a tradition of excellence. We appreciate them for their great support and their sponsorship of the post-game winners interviews. We'll have sound down on ice level. Wes Anderson will have it with, assuming the Dukes are able to hold on to this third period lead, a couple of candidates you could think. And if somehow this Ignatius side finds a way to come back either in regulation or OT, plenty of candidates that way as well. Icing the call will come down to the York end.
Yeah, obviously last 4 minutes here. Two mindsets for Ignatius to keep in mind. Obviously, again, these pucks are bouncing. The ice isn't very good now at the end of this period, so you want to make sure you're making 100% plays. And the second one is we're seeing it right now where they're throwing everything at this net. Wes and Max, you guys mentioned earlier in this broadcast from the last time you saw Levi Brown, a lot of rebounds. That's continuing. That's definitely something they're going to try and take advantage of here.
Shorter takes it around the boards, but kept in by Nathan Lazat. Pretzi. Brown hard off the boards and out. York in pure clearance mode at this point. Sanfilippo going to put some pressure on the forecheck. Chris Kelly leaves for Lazat. Now Lazat taken down. Kept alive at least for the moment, but forced out as Dylan Hahn couldn't keep it in the zone. It'll be offsides with 3:44 to go.
And such an advantage for York these days to have Pulakaitis coming in. And obviously this is a guy that's won basically everything you could win at the high school hockey level, state championships, SHL championships. He knows how to handle these important situations, and he's able to teach these young guys how to close out games. We'll see if they're able to do it here tonight.
Here's a chance into the slot for Reef. Can't get a shot off. It's Michael Barton, and he'll get just across half line and fire it down. Takes a hit to make a play. Rizzuti, 1-on-3, gets it deep, now has the support of Helfrich. Cleanly taken away by Maurer, sends it up the middle of the ice for Fafinski. Fafinski catches up to it, behind the goal, one-man show, backhanded shot just wide of the cage. Now somebody without a stick down in the corner, it's Barton. Maurer, at the very least, able to waste a little bit of time here, under 3 to go.
Oh, boy.
Almost some theatrics with Lazat and the referee. Rizzuti wraps around the boards for Lazat. Tries a 3-line pass, but instead it's O'Leary stepping in the way. Here comes Woods. Woods whiffs on his pass attempt taken by Liam Brown. Brown shoots from a sharp angle, fought off. Pirati following up. Drops it below the goal, looking for Camposano. Hayes just outside the blue line, but no offsides. 50 or 60 seconds there from pressure just from the York Dukes, wasting some time, not giving Ignatius any chances here in the latter stages of the third.
Yeah, and as we approach 2 minutes, keep an eye on, obviously, Ignatius' goaltender. We'll see how aggressive Spencer Montgomery gets, getting Nocera out of the net. You see him starting to move halfway here. I'm of the new school mindset, which is get him out early. I like to get the goalie out and get that 6 minutes as soon as possible.
I think as soon as the puck gets in, there'll be empty net, and that's exactly the case. Nocera to the bench. 6 attackers on the ice for Ignatius. Passion just missing the cage. No icing. I thought he was behind.
No close.
Half line. Could have been an icing call. A break there for York. Now with control is Jeremy. Carries it into the offensive zone. Jeremy skating wide. Jeremy across the crease, but Burke a step behind. Burke at the near point. Curls for the high slot. Blocked by Spano and cleared. This one tracking towards the goal. Empty netter for the Dukes. With 1:25 to go, take a 2-goal lead.
And what you imagine will be the dagger here, really huge block by Jimmy Spano right at the top of the zone, starts that whole play. That's what you got to do to win hockey games in this league. You saw Mike Barton down here. He took a hit to make a play, getting pucks in deep, and Spano there with a huge block. You never know if that puck gets through you, but that is your job as that winger up there. Really nice job, and then to close it out and get that next one. 1:25 left.
The Dukes just 85 seconds away from a 4-game win streak here in the SHL. And frankly, making a case for the top team in the state at this point, especially with who they've beaten over the last couple of weeks. Long way to go, but for this young developing team, what a stretch this has been. Erdis gets the puck in deep. Ignatius trying to find a goal here in the next 30 seconds to give themselves a chance. Urtis turns and fires, finds Rizzuti. Rizzuti at a sharp angle, centering past the backdoor play. Fafinski waiting for the Dukes. Now Maurer trying to force it out. 6 attackers back on the ice for St. Ignatius. Lazat can't get it very far. This again trickling towards the Ignatius goal, but will go just wide. Played by Dylan Hahn. Hahn carrying it in himself. Vasek on the chase with under 30 to go. Now Maurer content to just trap the puck against the boards for as long as possible. Pops free to Shorter. Shorter tying up the stick, trying to get any contact up ice. Now Maurer, Rizzuti, trapped against the wall. The Dukes faithful come to their feet with 5 to go. The shot wide of the net of Levi Brown. The freshman is going to move to 4-0 in his young career, and the Dukes win it 4-2.
That's the end of the game. The final score this evening, the York Dukes 4, Ignatius Wolfpack 2. Final shots.
Really impressed by this York Dukes team tonight. I mean, I've heard from multiple people that there are a lot of people that are picking this York Dukes team to win the state championship this year, and I see no reason why they can't do that after the game tonight. Really nice game, and led by the goaltender Levi Brown with a huge game, 4-0 in the Catholic League, and like you said, they're going to be turning some heads with these wins, and that was a big one.
We're going to send it down to ice level where Wes Anderson has Jack Passion queued up to talk about this Dukes win. Wes.
Thanks, guys. Guys got outshot 13-3 in that first period. What was the message on the bench at intermission?
Coach walked in. He was like, we really got to pick it up. This is our rival. We've been playing great hockey recently, and the captain spoke, and we just got everyone fired up, and we changed the game between the second and third for sure.
Now, you talk about how big of a role you guys have been on only one regulation loss against the top half of this league. How do you guys look to carry this over against Lake Forest this week?
I think we have a lot of momentum. Elmhurst is starting to become a hockey town, and, everyone's getting out to the games, and, we have a lot of momentum, so I'm really excited to see how it goes, and I'm really pumped for Friday.
All right, go enjoy it with your teammates.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Wes, and thanks to Loyola Academy Hockey Club, a tradition of excellence, our sponsors for the post-game winners interview. You can tell a happy human for the Dukes. 4 wins in a row. Mike, your final thoughts?
Yeah, obviously we just talked about York. Let's give a little bit of credit to St. Ignatius. Obviously, we mentioned the struggle offensively. They were able to break through that, and we saw no stopping, even after that empty netter at the end. Very impressed by the fight and the will of this Ignatius team. And this is a team that's going to be in contention at the end of the year. So obviously some growing pains here. But overall, really impressed by both teams. I think, both these coaches have their guys dialed in. And we're only in November. So a lot of time left in this season to continue developing and getting better. And I expect to see that from both these teams. So really excited to see how it progresses. And, happy to be back and see more high school hockey as we go here.
Mike, it is great to have you back. We'll have Mike on broadcast throughout this season, but that will do it for us tonight. Thanks to our great crew. Of course, Matt Freeman on the main camera. Jimmy the Wiz Olsen working overtime, rushing before the game as we had some internet issues, but that doesn't stop Jimmy the Wiz from putting on a great production like he always does. Jimmy Olsen, the best in the business. Wes Anderson was down at ice level. Mike Doherty was to my right. I am Max Anderson. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you next Sunday from Alumni Fieldhouse, Lake Forest, on the Game of the Week. Until then, we wish you a good week. We'll talk to you again next Sunday.